There'll be two parts to this video, but we're just going to deal with the first section of it, unalienable. I love that word. You see alien in there, um, which really means it's not capable of being aliened or transferred or conveyed. So it's non-transferable. We know Adamic sin in the book of Genesis. When Adam sinned, he entered into death, and debt basically is transferred to all his offspring. So before Christ came, there was no basically hope, no salvation, and therefore man just carried the debt. That's why the system that we live in the legal world doesn't want to get involved in any kind of spiritual position, because they remain neutral in that, because their driving ambition is down a legal theory of monetary debt. And you can't operate a monetary debtor system when you're believing in spiritual truth and salvation. So they're kind of stuck in the first half of the Bible with the first Adam passing down what was believed to be inherited sin. And in fact, they even relate to the fact that the surname could possibly be inherited or voluntarily adopted by somebody, because you can take on someone else's debt. The closest you can get to inherited sin in the monetary legal world is by your adoption and consent to use a surname of a superior master who allows you to use it under license. And that's why you're licensed and to traffic in that name. It is not yours, and you're not the ultimate master. You have only conditional usage of it under the terms and conditions of this legal spacecraft that goes on. So we know that it's a very crafty thing that lawyers do, and they always have you fill things in spaces. So I always tell most people, when they're in this, they're in the hallucination, and therefore they're spaced out. And that's how they do what they do with spacecraft. They're crafty guys running this evil thing on behalf of their boss, which is, we know, the ruler of this world of wickedness. And that's why lawyers are referred to as the devil's advocates, because they advocate the will of the devil, not the will of God. And therefore they advocate your being self-willed. So when we look at that, unalienable is non-transferable. We dealt with that in a previous video, that even within the secular system, there is no provision in the legal system for an individual to transfer their given names to anyone, because it does not belong to the legal state. It's private property, it's not public property, and therefore it cannot be aliened or alienated to that, and therefore can never be part of this crafty little scheme of the legalists.